Hi, Poro here, and today I wanted to do a video where I give some potential item build ideas from the new preseason updates. As you all might know, League of Legends recently released their preseason 2023 preview, and one of the notable additions are 13 new or reworked items. As an item build connoisseur myself, I spent a while theory crafting some possible builds that could come from these changes that people may not have thought of, and I have 4 that I want to share in this video. I'll try to stay away from some of the more obvious stuff like Rod of Ages on Kassadin or Rise, and with that out of the way, let's start it off with our first build. I wanted to kick things off with something that I've been preaching for some time now, and that's Quickblade's Tristana. The logic of current Quickblade's Trist is that all of her cooldowns, even at max rank, are abnormally long, and her Q gives her all the attack speed she really needs, so slotting in a Quickblade second is a strong power spike that allows you to dish out more DPS. Once you have 40 to 60% crit with Quick Blades, your Q is never off cooldown, meaning you get the full 150% attack speed boost permanently while in combat. New Quick Blades is different from old Quick Blades, as the new one is going to be unique with Infinity Edge and Rage Blade, and grant 15% cooldown reduction on all basic abilities with every auto at 60% crit or higher. The main immediate concern that comes out with this is that Tristana's E-Bomb scales with crit, meaning Infinity Edge is a huge damage spike for the bomb. However, the way current Quick Blades works, I would expect that new Quick Blades will allow you to get 3 bombs off in the time it takes IE Trist to get just 1 off. The other caveat of the build is that it can be hard to stay in auto range for the entire fight without popping, which is why the second modification of Trist's normal build is that you go Shield Bow instead of Kraken Slayer. The defensive nature of Shield Bow will allow you to stay in there and get the autos needed to use multiple E's, and it will also allow you to use multiple W's to reposition and stay safe in teamfights. The second build that I have for this video is Iceborne Gauntlet Chemtank Skarner. Now if you've played Skarner for multiple years, you would know that this is not new news, as old Skarner did like Iceborne Gauntlet before Season 11. However, Skarner's play rate has always been at the bottom of the barrel, especially back then, and I feel like the majority of the player base would not remember what he built anyway, so this is a good way to mention it. The idea is pretty simple here. Skarner likes the ability to stick to targets he's caught, and he also likes Sheen items. The problem with current items is that you can't really do both, as Trinity and Divine don't provide any sticking power. Skarner's Q cooldown is short enough that you can get Sheen autos off cooldown, which feels really smooth while playing, but Skarner's forced for the most part to go Chemtank to remain relevant throughout the whole game. New Chemtank has 2 really important changes to it. 1, it now only gives magic resist, and 2, it does not count as a mythic item. This is huge because Iceborne Gauntlet only gives armor and does count as a mythic, so the 2 items cover for each other's weaknesses and give Skarner everything he wants. Now not only can he catch the targets with Chemtank, but he can also stick onto them with the slow zone from Iceborne Gauntlet, and he can have Sheen procs to speed up his clear and improve his dueling power. The next build is another fairly obvious one that will catch on if the item is good enough, and that's Goliath's Ascendiary Tahm Kench. For those who don't know, Tahm Kench's auto attacks scale with maximum health, and this item looks to be an item where you can permanently stack max health. The caveat of the item is that the drain attack must be charged over 3 seconds while within 600 range, which can be hard to do for most tanks who lack the mobility of bruisers or the range of marksmen. Kench's Q provides a sizably nasty slow that should allow for him to hit Q and then get an easy Goliath stack. This item also provides 800 max health and no resistances, meaning it pairs perfectly with Gargoyle's Stoneplate, an item that gives no health and large amounts of both resistances, as well as a massive shield that scales with max health. I could see a world where Kench gets these 2 items and then stacks full health items afterwards like Anathema's to be a super tank with auto attacks that hit like a truck. The last build is one that I'll be spamming as soon as Preseason drops since it's for my main, and that's Hecarim building both Spear of Shojin and Ravenous Hydra. Hecarim really loves 3 stats in particular, those being attack damage, ability haste, and movement speed. With all of the AD scaling buffs he's gotten over the season, AD builds are significantly better than the old drain tank builds, whether Hecarim players have caught on or not yet. With Hecarim's new kit featuring a W max second with scaling resistances, Hecarim no longer needs to prioritize tankiness as much, and the rise of lethality builds and the drastic fall of Divine Sunderer's win rate proves this. At the time of making this video, the 2 builds that are really standing out in solo queue are one of either Eclipse or Duskblade followed by Black Cleaver and Death Stance. Black Cleaver specifically feels amazing on Hecarim, granting 30 ability haste. Spear of Shojin has 20 base ability haste in the kit, and a passive that gives basic abilities more ability haste scaling with attack damage. With Eclipse getting an attack damage buff this patch up to 60, a 2 core of Eclipse and Spear of Shojin will act similarly to Eclipse Black Cleaver, but with more damage in theory due to the increase of Q casts. Spear of Shojin also has a passive that grants more movement speed with missing health, which works well with Hecarim's passive. The new Ravenous Hydra is a natural 3rd item for this, as it scales 80 up to 90 as long as you stay alive, as well as gives Omnivamp to pair with Eclipse for all the survivability you would ever need. These 3 items seem to have a great synergy going on for them for Hecarim, and I expect this build to be very strong on release if the numbers on the items aren't adjusted. Those 4 builds are all I've got for this video. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like or subscribing. I stream on Twitch sometimes, and I also have a Discord server. Both of those links are in the description. Bye.